Here's something that'll change how you see the rest of your life. Colonel Sanders founded KFC at 62. Julia Child launched her cooking show at 50. Ray Kroc started McDonald's at 52. And Morgan Freeman didn't become a household name until he was 50. If you think 50 is the beginning of the end, you're operating with the wrong map. The data shows something completely different. Your second act isn't about decline. It's about recalibration. You're not starting over, you're starting better. I'm Max. I'm 56, and when I lost my job in June, I thought my best years were behind me. Today I'm building something I never imagined at 30. Let me show you why everything you've been told about aging and potential is wrong, and why your second act might be your best act. Let's start by naming the enemy here, because there is one, and it's not your age. Society has sold us the script: peak at 30, plateau at 40, decline at 50, retire and fade at 65. It's everywhere, in movies, advertising, corporate culture. But here's the thing, this narrative serves corporations and youth culture, not reality. The lie is that your value decreases with age. The truth, your advantages compound with age. Think about it. Companies want young, cheap, moldable workers. The retirement narrative isn't about your well-being, it's about getting you out of the way for younger talent. But here's what they're missing. They're not just replacing experience, they're losing institutional wisdom. When I lost my job in June, the message was clear. You're aging out. I believed it for about 48 hours. Then I looked at what I actually had at 56 that I didn't have at 26, and everything changed. The cultural script is designed to make you step aside. But here's the question that will wake you up. Who benefits from you believing your past is your prime? Your second act threatens the narrative that youth equals value. And that's exactly why you need to embrace it. Let me tell you what you've got now that your 30-year-old self could only dream of. First, pattern recognition. You've seen economic cycles, relationship patterns, career trends. You know what works, what's just performative theatre. You can spot bullshit in 30 seconds. It took you years to develop that skill. This is wisdom. Second, emotional regulation. Research shows emotional intelligence peaks in your 50s and 60s. You don't overreact to every crisis like you did at 25. You've learned what actually matters versus what just feels urgent, calm under pressure. That's a massive competitive advantage. Third, your network and relationships. Decades of relationships you've built, people who trust you, know your work, vouch for your character. Social capital compounds. It can't be bought or faked. Fourth, financial foundation. Even if you're not wealthy, you have financial literacy from lived experience. You know how to recover from setbacks because you've done it before. You understand what you actually need versus what advertising tells you you want. And fifth, this one's huge. Freedom from proving yourself. You're not trying to impress anyone anymore. You can focus on meaning instead of status. That's liberation from other people's expectations. At 30, I had energy and ambition, but no idea what I was doing. At 56, I have clarity, experience, and confidence to build something that actually matters. I'll take wisdom over stamina any day. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from accumulated advantage. The question isn't, can I compete with younger people? The question is, what can I build that only someone with my experience can build? If you're ready to start building your second act with clarity and purpose, I've created a free Reinvention After 50 guide. The link is in the description below. It is completely free and it walks you through exactly how to inventory your advantages, start building something meaningful. Here's where your second act beats your first act every single time. Act 1, your 20s through 40s, was about building foundation, proving yourself, climbing ladders, following scripts, high energy, low clarity, chasing external validation. It was necessary, but let's be honest, often misdirected. Act 2, your 50s and beyond, is about building legacy. You have clarity about what actually matters, freedom from others' expectations, wisdom from pattern recognition, courage from surviving setbacks, authority from lived experiences. The mindset shift is everything. Act 1 asks, what can I achieve? Act 2 asks, what do I want to contribute? One is about taking, the other is about giving. And paradoxically, giving creates more fulfillment than taking ever did. Here's why the second act works better. You know what you don't want, which eliminates wasted time. You have resources, time, money, network that Act 1 didn't have. You understand urgency without panic, because finite time creates focus, and you can mentor while building, serving others while serving yourself. My first act was survival, pay bills, climb ladder, prove worth. My second act is significance, reach people who need what I've learned. One felt like obligation, the other feels like calling. I'll never go back. Here's something counterintuitive. Time pressure is actually your secret weapon. At 30, you think you have unlimited time, so you waste it. At 50, you know time is finite, so you focus. This creates productive urgency without desperate panic. Here's the wisdom in remembering our mortality. When you know time is finite, you stop worrying about what you have to lose. You're already naked. There's no reason not to follow your heart. What this means is profound. You're less afraid of failure because you failed before and survived. You're less afraid of judgment because you know it doesn't matter. You're less afraid of starting over because you've done it before. Fear decreases as wisdom increases. Here's the permission you've been waiting for. You don't have 40 years to figure it out. You have 10 to 20 years to build something meaningful. That constraint isn't limiting, it's liberating. When I lost my job in June, I didn't have the time to spend 5 years finding myself. I had runway, but not unlimited runway. That urgency forced clarity. Within 6 months, I knew exactly what I was building. Fear of wasting time became my greatest motivator. Urgency plus wisdom equals an unstoppable combination. If this is shifting how you see the rest of your life, hit that like button and subscribe. We're building a community of men over 50 who refuse to step aside, who know their best work is still ahead of them. You belong here. All right, enough theory, let's get practical. Here's your roadmap to building your second act. Step 1. Inventory your advantages. What do you know that younger people don't? What patterns can you see that they can't? What network and relationships do you have? What mistakes have you learned from? Write this down. It's your competitive moat. Step 2. Name what you actually want. Not what you think you should want. Not what would impress people. What would make you excited to wake up at 5 a.m.? What would you do even if no one paid you? Get specific here. Step 3. Start small. Start now. You don't need a perfect plan. You need first action. Momentum beats perfection every time. Just press record if it's content. Just make the call if it's business. Just start writing if it's a book. Step 4. Build in public. Document your journey. It creates accountability. Share what you're learning. It attracts community. Help others while helping yourself. There's a pro-social benefit to this that compounds. Step 5. Give yourself time. Second acts aren't overnight. They compound over years, but they compound faster than the first acts because you have the wisdom. Think 2 to 3 year horizon, not 2 to 3 month hustle. I started with a YouTube channel with 0 subscribers, 4 months after losing my job and building something that matters, not because I had it all figured out, but because I started before I was ready. Your second act is waiting for you to begin. Let me ask you this question that changes everything. When people remember you, what do you want them to say? Not what you owned, not titles you held, what you helped them become, what you made possible for them. Act 1, legacy is what you achieved for yourself. Act 2, legacy is what you contributed to others. Both matter, but Act 2, legacy lasts longer. You have 10 to 20 plus years to build something meaningful. That's enough time to change lives, but only if you start now. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. 50 isn't the beginning of the end. 50 is the end of the beginning. Everything up to now was preparation. Now is when you actually build what matters. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first Little House book at 65. Julia Child started her cooking show at 50. These weren't consolidation prizes. These were their masterpieces. Here's what I know at 56 that I didn't know at 30. The second act isn't about having less time. It's about having better time, more clarity, more wisdom, more courage, more freedom. You're not declining, you're refining. Every experience, every failure, every lesson has prepared you for this moment. The cultural lie says, slow down, step aside, make room. The truth says now is when you finally know what you're building and why it matters. 50 isn't the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of the best act. The act where you stop proving yourself, start being yourself. The act where achievement becomes contribution. The act where you build something that lasts. Your second act is waiting. The only question is, are you ready to begin? The world needs what you've learned. The world needs what only someone with your experience can build. Don't let them convince you to step aside just when you're getting to the good part. Your best work isn't behind you. It's ahead of you. And it starts now. Cheers.
Empower over 50 now. Stand up tall and take your bow. Feel the rhythm, feel the power. This is your triumphant hour.